Well, we roll in now to race number 7. This is the Schweppes Malvista Stakes. The last chance for the males to get it all right before they head in to the Group 2 WATC Derby in a fortnight's time. We've got to go back and capture the winning performance last start of Rowan.
Behind them, then came Rock Band in the centre. They're followed after 2 lengths located, but Flag Officer kicked away. Flag Officer at the 200. Rowan wants to duck in, but he's still running on. It's Flag Officer. Rowan's trying to bridge the gap. He now levels up. Flag Officer, Rowan and Flag Officer. They went to the line. Rowan, I think Rowan's won the Roberts of Breath. Flag Officer.
And there was Rohan. It was a narrow victory, but it was a super impressive victory. What you don't see there is the fact that he was out last at about the 1,200 metre mark. He was out the back, and Glenn Smith just wound him up, got him round the field, and he went about 4 and 5 wide, and he got to about 3rd or 4th really quickly, and then he just outstayed him. And I think this horse is a real stayer, and I think he's going to be exceptionally hard to beat in this in the Schweppes Malvista this Saturday, Marty.
I agree. He's everything he's done, this horse, hasn't it? If you haven't been on him yet, then still not too late to get involved in the Malvista. I really like Jared Noski hopping onto this horse because he's got a wonderful left hand on him, Jared, and you saw that in that replay then. Rohan really wanted to find the fence, and Glenn Smith, being a left-handed whip rider, was able to just straighten him up with a stick in the left.
He would have won him by a lot further, actually, if he decided to go straight. But as we've said, what you didn't see there is what made this win so impressive. Him being able to circle the field.
It was a messy race.
It was, but my concern with a lot of these runners is I don't think a lot of them will run out a strong 2,200 metres, 2,400 metres, so they have to ride him a bit cold and let him flood home, whereas he can, and they can put him in the race, he can make his own luck.
One horse I can just see being in front at the 200 metres is Flag Officer. Tell us about him.
Oh, absolutely. He's thing about him is he's tough and he can make his own luck, whereas a lot of these other ones have to be ridden cold and then hope they can get the trip. Whereas he goes forward, he'll be in front, he'll be making his own luck, and he'll definitely be in the finish. I think he'll finish top 3, top 4 almost for sure. I can't see him not running in the top 3 or 4. So I think he'll go forward, make his own luck, and he'll be in the finish for sure. Going from the top, Full Rain. Big query about this horse getting a 2,200 metres for me. I thought his last start was pretty disappointing. I thought he had every conceivable in running. Uncle George, pretty similar for me. I'm not sure he'll run out a strong 2,200 metres. Well, I'm pretty positive won't, but we'll see what happens on Saturday. Wicked Game was a good effort last start. Yep, he was wide for most of the race, and he kept on coming to the line. Big riding engagement here. Paul Harvey on.
Yep.
Drawn 4, so he's finally drawn a gate. He's been drawing wide gates as well, so he can probably take a lot closer position, probably one off the fence. Drive West, the interesting runner. This is the real stayer. You go through this field and there's probably 10 runners with huge question marks about running a strong 2,200 metres. Drive West will run out a staying trip. We touched on the program last week before he's running the Rack and Tour. His last run before a spell was actually beating the older horses when he beating horses like Goose, who's a really good stayer. Yep. I thought his last start in the Rack and Tour, his last 100 metres, he was really attacking the line. So
he was super.
I think he'll be peaking in 2 weeks' time for the WA Derby. Rain of Terror's a nice horse. He's one horse which I think might be able to run out the trip, but again, he'll probably need a lot of luck. I think he'll need everything to go his way in this race. He'll need to jump on the right horse and then have the last crack at them. Dash for Home, serious question marks at the trip for me. And especially drawn 15, he could definitely get posted. Rock Band was good last start.
Massive.
He was 3 wide the trip, and I heard William Pike on radio this morning. I completely agree with him. He said he was coming back at them on the line, and I thought he was. He just got left flat-footed by Rohan and Flag Officer at the top of the straight. Just needs a little bit of luck from his draw. Southern Draw was pretty good against the older horses last start. That was his best run of the preparation. Lethal Jones, I think, will get the trip. I think just probably lacks a bit of class of the top few in the race, but I think he'll run it out strong. Classic Ivory was okay against the older horses, but again, class is a bit of a factor for him. And then the last 3, I couldn't have them: Cape Fear, Amber Star, or Psychic Connection. Okay,
so you're punting on Rohan to win the Malvista, shortening even more for the WATC Derby in a fortnight.
Well, I think he'll win the Malvista, and the only thing stopping him from winning the WATC Derby would be the fact that potentially some latecomers from over east.
Yeah, that latecomer will arrive on the weekend by the name of Flashy Fella.
He was good on Saturday.
He was awesome at Caulfield, and he really will loom large. And he'll come across with 2 weeks to acclimatise. Mike Moroney's such a clever traveller of horses, and it'll be very interesting to see how this next fortnight unfolds. But the first thing to get out of the way is the Malvista.
And we just stick with Rohan here. He'll be winning.
Well, we're up to race number 8, the $500,000 Group 2 Ausdrill Karrakatta Plate. This is the big one for the babies here in WA, in Perth, and it's brought together a cracking field, and boy, hasn't the barrier draw made it interesting.
So certainly has, Marty. Obviously, all the way through since pre-post betting's open, Miss Celise has been at the top of betting, and deservedly so from what we've seen. I thought her last start effort, as we just saw there in the Gym Crack, when she was ran a slashing second behind Darlington Abbey, everything was pointing to her to be clearly the horse to beat. Well, now she's drawn the outside, and the stablemate's drawn barrier 4, and the odds have flipped around. So it's going to be certainly going to be a cracking race. There is speed to burn, and I'm just really looking forward to watching this race because I think it's going to be a great spectacle.
All right. As you just gave us a bit of a lead into the Gym Crack Stakes, it was taken out in brilliant fashion by Darlington Abbey, defeating Miss Celise.
Slash ridden along over on the inside. Next of all on straightening up is Bippo No Bungus travelling to third, Secret Scandal, and now Carberry pulls Miss Celise into the clear to set out after the stablemate, but Darlington Abbey took them to the 150. Miss Celise trying to run her down. Darlington Abbey the leader. Miss Celise won't get to her, and Darlington Abbey has won. Darlington Abbey won the Gym Crack over Miss Celise.
And there we had it. Darlington Abbey found the front, and she got all her rivals off the bit from about the 600-metre mark. They were being scrubbed up to keep up with her, and then she kicked away on the bend, as we've seen her do in the Magic Millions and in the Gym Crack now, and then she just was never really threatened, and Miss Celise running a gallant second, making up plenty of late ground, and thought they were clearly the two best runs in that race. And then we have obviously the other form line to look at would be the Perth Stakes sort of form line.
I thought Fuddle de Duddle was good.
Fuddle de Duddle was very good, but she probably lacks a class of the top two. But in her favour is she's drawn a gate, so she's drawn a gate that the opposition probably won't be worrying about Fuddle Duddle. They'll be worrying about the other two. So she can just camp behind them, just smoke the pipe. And if she's good enough, she can win the race.
Yep.
So, but the other, as we said, the other form line will be the Perth Stakes form line. Which, how do you see that, Marty? I've got a feeling that the fillies are probably a little bit better.
Look, without a doubt,
okay.
the times on the day told us that. And it was interesting, you go back and have a look at that Al Regis performance. They appeared to be low-flying early, didn't they? Where Darlington Abbey appeared to be just doing it on the bit. Yet when you went back and looked at the sectionals, so she must really cover a lot of ground and do it in her ease.
You read my form book, because when I watched that race, I thought, geez, they must have absolutely scorched turf. The Colts and Geldings must have gone a lot quicker than the fillies, and I couldn't believe it when they said the fillies went about, was it 0.6 seconds quicker?
The horse who then was shitting after the race and was a terrific run in the Perth Stakes was Just Patum. Yep. Now, it had led on its ear the previous start. It couldn't get near him, and Harvey had to say, well, I'll sit back here and be content to be one out, one back, one out, two back. But, they appeared to be low-flying. So I just really think the fillies have got it over the boys. But having said that, Al Regis won the race and comes in at barrier 3, likes to be on the pace.
It's a good bit of timing about this horse, because I thought he was going I don't think he was going very well going into that race. No. And look, he improved out of sight, in my opinion. His debut at Wynn was good, and he sort of hit a flat spot. But if you can peak him at the right, if Darren McAuliffe can get him to this race in peak condition, he's definitely some type of chance. But looking at the speed maps, there's a stack of speed in this race. I went through it. There's probably half a dozen horses that could potentially want to lead. You've got El Regis, Miami Horror, Detection. Now, this is the interesting runner. Alizon Thunder. What's the mail
massive
here?
pace.
What's the mail? Is it?
It's got one last chance to get on 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, which is Friday morning Perth time. Friday morning Melbourne time, to get on a flight and get across here. And Chris Calthorpe from Australian Air Express is very confident that both it and Fancy Fella will be on that flight.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Jesus, it's leaving it late, isn't it?
Leaving it very late, but it's got massive gate speed as well.
Huge gate speed. Well, if she's over here, she'll definitely be burning forward. You obviously got Darlington Abbey, who's led her the last 2 starts, and then also one down the bottom, right down the bottom is Fine Copper. Will go forward as well. So stacks of speed. So it'll be interesting what they want to do with the favourite here, Darlington Abbey, who I do think will start favourite on the day. I think punters will want to be on her because of Paul Harvey factors. She's drawn a gate.
Yep.
I don't think they can get stuck in some type of ridiculous speed battle, to be honest. I think she's drawn 4, and look, if they don't go that quick, she can go to the front, she can control it, and she can just kick away, and she'll be very hard to beat.
Has she ever sat? She's led in all 3 races.
There was a straight race where she sat right next to him, but that's completely different. It's different to running around in a bend. But yeah, both her 2 wins at Ascot have been when she's been able to go to the front and then kick away on the bend. But I think they might have to take a sit, because if El Regis and Miami Horror do want to kick up inside her, and then you got the ones coming from out
pressure
wide.
Out wide, yeah.
I think they might just have to take the one out, one back, and then she's got such good cruising speed. Then I suppose Paul Harvey can then just pull her out and just say, okay, now it's time to go. So Yeah, I think she's clearly the horse to beat, in my opinion.
Has to break that Magic Millions Karrakatta plate voodoo too, doesn't she?
She does, but Simon Miller is a genius. Yep. I think he's got her going really nicely because I thought her effort in the gym crack was better than her run in the Magic Millions.
Yep,
I thought
she's improving.
I think she's improving. Yep. So, and I think from her gate she is the one now.
Yep.
But let's just go from the top, We've already touched on El Regis. I think he's probably battling to beat the 2 top fillies, but he's in the mix and he's definitely got some type of each-way claims. Luke's Luck's a nice horse. He'll get out the back. I think he'll be the one steaming home late. Probably the size, probably the one you want to be on for the size going forward. What do you do with Miami Horror? I don't think he's going that good.
No, I don't. Yep. He's run 2 starts ago when he bolted in, was very good. Keep it quiet, come out of that race to make it look good, and then since then it's disappointed.
And would you, from barrier 1, do you try to hold up and
has to?
Like he won it 3 starts back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think it's a horse running 3 or 4 lengths off his best.
Yep.
But you're in a big race, roll of the dice, chance your arm, and see what happens. You know, you never know. They all might just have the same feeling and drop off, and all of a sudden you're in front. You see that happen a bit as well, and dictating terms.
I definitely got to have a crack. It's a $500,000 race. Detection, well, very unusual preparation. 3 runs inside a fortnight, but George Daly did do this with diffraction back in 2003. So, look, drawn 17 hurts his chances because he's going to have to use a lot of petrol to get over, but he was really good in that restricted grade race last week.
He's drawn wide every time it's raced, hasn't it? I know this is wide, but
he's small fields and he's drawn outside gates almost every time. So he was really impressive last week, but you know, he's jumping up from 1,000 metres up to 1,200 metres. I think he might probably hit a brick wall at about the 100 metre mark.
He's nearly the horse out of this field you'd like.
Yeah, I think
just forget this race. But if you said which one of these would you like?
Oh, it's all happening really quickly for him. Where the other ones have these
big, strong type,
long preparation. He's just happened to really quickly get here. But our Maxi boy's probably outclassed. You've already got. You can touch on maybe Alizan Thunder for us.
Alizan Thunder, look, brings some of the best form lines in the country here with that 3rd in the Magic Millions on the Gold Coast. Resumed in Adelaide and needed the run. They told everyone who wanted to listen that needed the run. Zoomed across, sat outside the leader. And zoomed across the lead, and the horse outside of it got over it on the line. So I think Alizan Thunder, I just don't know about this flying in Friday morning, and its bloods weren't right a week ago. Okay, it worked well on Tuesday. Might have worked too well from what I've heard. A lot of times that they leave it on the track, that last gallop, so I prefer not to get involved.
Yeah, question
I
mark.
hope the horse gets across here. But
let's hope she does. She's nominated for a race in Adelaide as well. I had a quick look. But, query runner for me. We've already touched on Darlington Abbey ad nauseum. Miss Elise, well, we've said barrier hurts her chances, but they could go really quickly and she can just slot in midfield 3 wide with cover, and they're actually able to make ground. I think she's going to be extremely hard to hold out. I still think she's probably what we've seen probably is the best 2-year-old we've seen so far. Yep. I've just loved all her efforts. And look, on face value, her last start, as we said, behind Darlington Abbey in the gym crack, it was just a perfect Karrakatta plate trial. So she's definitely a chance. Fuddle Duddle, as we said, got each-way claims. Keep Her Quiet's an interesting runner. She's coming on really nicely. Her last start win was completely dominant. Thought she probably needed to draw a really good gate to have a really genuine winning claims. But look, Clint Harvey can get her in 3 wide with cover. Maybe follow the favourite or something. Yeah, she's definitely got a chance. Looking ahead, probably unlucky in that race behind Keep Her Quiet. You know, sort of
Stewart's Report.
Yeah, Stewart's Report was wide and did a few things wrong. Her debut win was really good, and she's drawn a nice gate, so yeah, she's definitely in the mix. I like the Dane Hill Rose as a horse. I thought the first up effort was exceptional, and last start she just got out. She just got probably, they got too far back, wasn't able to make ground. I think she'll need a lot of luck. Keep Faf, I don't know what happened last start, went really bad, but look, they're having a crack, and at her best she'd probably top 4 chance at absolute best. Secret Scandal's a nice filly, but lacks the class of Darlington Abbey and Miss Elise for me. Spice Again's the 3rd Simon Miller runner.
Big effort, isn't it?
Heard him on radio saying that she's probably the one for the size going forward. She can probably really run out a strong 1,400 metres. Fine Copper won that midweek race beating Spice Again.
It was good.
It was good. Probably lacks the class as we've touched on. And if Nothing Personal gets a run, well, he was really good at the Pinjarra Straight. A bit of money from him on play. We had 100 to 1 into 50s. And Korolenko, well, he's a second emergency. And look, I think probably outclassed as well. But summing up, this is a really good race. Plenty of depth. I think it'll be about $4 a field. I'm going to stick with the Simon Miller runners. I think he can Quinella the race. Wow. And I'm going to go for number 7, Darlington Abbey. Okay.
And all the best to our major sponsor, Ron Sayers from Ausdrill. He's got about he's got involvements with about 4 or 5 horses in this race. It'd be terrific to see him come up with the big prize at the end of it all. And of course, Ausdrill are now the sponsors of the Hockey Roos. And the Hockey Roos, there'll be a squad of about 30 of them on course Hoopsy, and they're wanting to get out and mingle and have a real good day of it. So watch out for the girls. They'll be here on Saturday. Ausdrill, the new sponsors of the Hockey Roos, and it is the Hockey Roos handicap to wind things up. Race number 9, 1400, time to go 5:45. This was a good win last start. Couldn't believe the price. Let's go back and have a look at the win of Capricious Lad.
Back near the inside, and there's a bit of a gap now at the 250, and State Secret led. Tackled quickly by Capricious Lad, though. They're 2 in front of Strelita, but Parnham pulls the whip here on the outside on Capricious Lad. He dropped off State Secret. Strelita can't get near him. It's a double for Stevie Parnham, and an absolute 10 out of 10 ride again.
And there was Capricious Lad storming away from him in midweek company and breaking a pretty frustrating run of outs for connections. But look, he's been going around at short prices a couple of times. I think punters decided enough's enough. And then when he got out to about $6-7, well, he turned it on and he won really well. This is obviously a step up in grade, and he's drawn a wide gate. But to be honest, this is probably just a little bit above a midweek class event. And that's why we've got a huge field here. We've got 18 nominations. You've got two emergencies at the moment sitting there waiting to get a run. So
nice way to finish the quaddy legs off, Hoops.
Yeah, cracking finish the day, because this is going to be a really competitive betting affair. It'll be $5 a field. And I like these for the last race of the day. You know, it doesn't matter how you're going. If you can find the winner in this type of race, you will be going home a winner. So stacks of chances, Marty. And I didn't find it very easy trying to line up all the form, but we will have a crack. Let's go from the top. Black Bar Blast. They scratched him from last week in that 1,000-metre race. Probably a good option. He's probably going to be suited over 1,400 metres, and he'll get back. I think he will be storming home. He's definitely in the mix. Revy J and Chin Chin. Probably can't have those two. Chin Chin resumes, and Revy J's just not going good enough for me. Stompin's definitely got winning claims.
Flying, isn't it? The horse?
Going really good, and you know he's one horse that will take a position right over the speed, which will be an advantage. So he's in the mix. Nova East was pretty good first up behind Capricious Lad. Yeah. Yep, pretty unlucky. Didn't get the best of luck in the straight. Did hit the line. William Pike obviously riding for his old boss Jack Cockle, hoping to boot one home there. State Secret was pretty good last start, but barrier 15. I think he could be battling from out there. Red Mercedes is racing well, and we did touch on last week on the program. Vernon Brockman's stable's going really good.
Get back 14, it'll be difficult.
It'll be pretty hard from his gate.
Do we look? If we've had an on rails sort of a day where horses near the fence have been suited, do we see the old pattern change in the last here?
Well, how many times do we see it that everyone wants to go forward and try to find the rail, and there's something that can just sit off and go bang? But horses that are going to be suited, if it is on rail and on speed, are going to be obviously Stompin', and I think there's one more horse as well that will definitely go forward. There was one other one, probably Secret Ruler as well. So they're the on-speed horses that will be favoured, because a lot of these other ones will be sit sprinters. But yeah, it'll be interesting how the actual track is playing. We're just guessing at the moment. We'll have to see. Wait till race day. Ackenhone's probably outclassed. Black Moment is a stayer. He will need the run. We've already touched on Capricious Lad. He'll need luck from his gate, but if he can get over, he can win the race.
Vermeer's an interesting one.
Yeah, I think Vermeer is probably the one. I think the punters will probably want to be on him after his last start where he was 3 wide the trip. And
inside gate.
He's drawn 2. I think it's obviously you'd rather be drawing 2 than drawing 15. But if he gets cluttered up on the fence, and he's probably it's not the greatest place to be. But because he's not a horse that can sit right on top of the speed, he will want to take a sit. But look, he's racing well, and his run prior to that was very good. New time, he just over raced badly last start when sitting over the speed. I think he's better horse ridden off the speed, flooding home. Take one for the teams, and an honest sort of horse. Can't have an electioneer. St Oliver comes from winning races at Kojonup and Minu, so can't have him. And our old favourite Secret Ruler, who they scratched from last week. He's definitely a chance if he can go to the top end. Interesting runner is number 17, Stormy Prince. Yeah. If he gets a start, he can definitely win the race. Yep. All in all, extremely tricky event, Marty. I'm going to go for number 11, Vermeer, but confidence levels are pretty low.
Okay, no doubt you'll stack up the numbers for the final leg of the quaddie there. Let's get some best bets from your Hoops on a massive 9-event card here at Ascot.
Best bets, let's just quickly mark them somewhere here. I'm pretty keen on Reset Gold, to be honest. I think she's probably the best, and also keen on Power Princess, race 4 and race 5. I'm really keen on the 2 mares to go bang bang.
Well, it's going to be a massive day out here. First event time to go at 12:45, 26 degrees. It's Ladies' Day. They'll all be out. Expecting a crowd of about 5,000 people. Hopefully Alazan Thunder gets on that flight. Also keep your ears and eyes out for one of the leading Sydney apprentices who may relocate over here to the west. We should be able to break that story pretty soon, so hopefully that deal will be done over the next couple of days. But all in all, this kicks it off. we've got 3 weeks of great racing coming our way here at Ascot.
Yeah, really looking forward to. Make sure you get out there and support our local carnival. This is just first-class racing. You won't see better racing. In the Autumn Carnival, you'll very rarely see good racing like this. 4 feature events, and just going to be a cracking day, and we've got 2 more big weeks after this as well.
All the best, Hoops. We'll see you out here at 12:45 on Saturday.